I can't speak to that. I would defer you to the Department of Health and Human Services. What I know is just what I told you.
Yes, this is the most incompetent and corrupt regime imaginable. I guess fortunately their incompetence exceeds the corruption, but they're basically both very, very bad. So then they get the tough question. So is this bill both big and beautiful? Play this clip.
Caroline, one big beautiful bill. The president says he's not happy with all aspects of it. What changes would he like to see be made? And can this bill be both big and beautiful?
It is a one big beautiful bill, as the name rings true. And the president, as I said, is currently working with his friends in the Senate who have some recommendations for the bill. Those negotiations and discussions are continuing, but the president's ultimate priority is to get this bill back to his desk for signature. And the president's priorities in this bill are non-negotiable in terms of the tax priorities he wants to see and the large tax cuts in the border investments that are currently in this bill. He is not going to allow them to go away for the American people.
Next up, a reporter asked Caroline Levitt to clarify. So what's up with this Qatari jet? Is it a gift? Is it a purchase? How do you describe it? Watch her word salad response. Play this clip.
Thanks, Caroline.
Sure.
I wanted to just clarify once and for all the Qatari jet, the sale or the gift, because the Qatari government is asking the U.S. to clarify that the jet's pending transfer was initiated by the Trump administration. So is this something that the White House is going to do?
The amount of questions we've received, and we've been incredibly clear, and I have answered this, the president has answered this, the Department of Defense has answered this. This is a government-to-government gift transfer from the Qataris to the Department of Defense, to the United States Air Force. It is now in their hands, and for further details on where that stands, I would defer you to the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force. I have nothing more for you on that.
Here she then lies and claims that the budget bill will not increase the deficit when by its very terms it adds $4 trillion to the debt ceiling. And even if you listen to what the MAGA Republican senators are saying, it will increase the deficit by trillions. If you listen to what some MAGA Republican Congress members are saying, it will increase the deficit by 20 trillion. Here, play this clip.
I also want to take the opportunity to debunk some false claims that have been circulating in the press about this bill. The blatantly wrong claim that the one big beautiful bill increases the deficit is based on the Congressional Budget Office and other scorekeepers who use shoddy assumptions and have historically been terrible at forecasting across Democrat and Republican administrations alike. For example, just before Congress enacted the original Trump tax cuts at the end of 2017, the same CBO projected that growth would average a mere 1.9% over the next 10 years. However, by 2019, actual growth had surged to 3.4% once the Trump tax cuts went into effect, exceeding the CBO forecast by nearly 2 full percentage points. The CBO's latest forecast makes the same anemic growth assumptions as they did in 2017, missing the impact of the one big beautiful bill. The CBO assumes long-term GDP growth of an anemic 1.8%, and that is absurd. The American economy is going to boom like never before after the one big beautiful bill is passed.
And here she claims again no increase to the deficit. Let's play it.
Analysis that growth will average 3% in the long run after the one big beautiful bill is passed, which is nearly double the ridiculous CBO projection. This higher growth would result in $4.1 trillion in additional revenue over the next 10 years. Between the common sense spending reforms contained in the one big beautiful bill and the robust economic growth that will be generated as a result of it, there will be no increase to the deficit. The same analysis from the CEA shows just how this historic package will unleash prosperity and ignite a blue-collar boom across America.
Thanks, Ben. Brett here. Allow me to interrupt for just a moment to break down an issue that's really important to us here at Midas Touch, and that's the climate, because we really need to discuss what's going on with this Republican budget bill. As we've reported, House Republicans passed their budget bill that would repeal the clean energy tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act, and I just want to be clear about what this means if it passes the Senate as is. In voting for this bill, the House Republicans voted to kill hundreds of thousands of jobs in their own districts. And if the Senate follows through, red states are going to get hit the hardest. Listen to this. Over $642 billion in investment, nearly 75% of all clean energy spending has gone to Republican-led states. We're talking massive projects like Toyota's battery plant in North Carolina, solar factories in Georgia, wind farms in Wyoming, and lithium mines in Nevada. So let me focus on Republican Senator Tom Tillis's home state of North Carolina for just a second, because the Inflation Reduction Act has helped attract $23 billion in investment, according to data compiled by Atlas Public Policy and Utah State University. 47 new facilities in the state, including that massive Toyota battery plant I was just talking about, could create about 20,000 new jobs, the data shows. You kill those credits, those jobs vanish, costs go up for families, the power grid weakens, and the US hands the AI and clean tech race to China. And there's more. Bloomberg reports that Climate Power, an environmental group, calculates that 29 House Republicans represent districts that have each received at least $2 billion in clean energy investments since the IRA's passage, with another 18 holding seats that have benefited from between $1 billion and $2 billion. In all, 152 Republican-held districts have received $200 billion in clean energy investment since the IRA's passage, nearly half of the nationwide total. Even GOP senators are privately panicking right now. Senator Markey put it bluntly, this bill eviscerates America's clean energy future, and it's going to be very hard for Republicans to justify voting against the jobs and industries they helped bring home. So let's keep focused on these climate issues. Let's continue to push for a clean energy future, because clean energy is not only good for the environment, it means jobs, it means future-proofing our country and the world. Back to you, Ben.
Here's what Caroline Leavitt has to say. This is just a dastardly moment where she attacks the former First Lady, Jill Biden. Like, how dare you play this clip?
They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting, and she needs to answer for it. Ouija.
Next up, Caroline Leavitt attacks the 3-judge federal court panel at the International Trade Court, which struck down Donald Trump's tariffs. The 3-judge panel was made up of a Trump judge, a Reagan judge, and 2 of the judges, one Trump, one Reagan, and the other judge was a Democratic appointee. But play this clip.
3 judges of the U.S. Court of International Trade disagreed and brazenly abused their judicial power to usurp the authority of President Trump to stop him from carrying out the mandate that the American people gave him. These judges failed to acknowledge that the President of the United States has core foreign affairs powers and authority given to him by Congress to protect the United States economy and national security. Congress had created the National Emergency Act to provide the congressional framework to strike down improper IEEPA use. And any questions over whether President Trump improperly imposed these IEEPA tariffs were already adjudicated in Congress following Liberation Day.
A reporter says, considering that courts now across the country are saying Trump violated the law in imposing these tariffs, why would any country negotiate the tariffs with Trump when it's clear the courts say he doesn't have the authority? Play this clip.
And on tariffs, Kevin Hassett earlier this morning, he brushed off, I believe, legal ruling, called it a hiccup, and he said that trade deal negotiations would continue. Why would other countries continue these trade deal negotiations given the ruling?
Because other countries around the world have faith in the negotiator-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump. And they also probably see how ridiculous this ruling is, and they understand that the administration is going to win, and we intend to win. We already filed an emergency appeal. We expect to fight this battle all the way to the Supreme Court. These other countries should also know, and they do know, that the president reserves other tariff authorities, Section 232, for example, to ensure that America's interests are being restored around the world. But I can confirm that our ambassador for trade, Jamison Greer, already heard from countries around the world this morning who said they intend to continue with these negotiations.
Next up, Caroline Leavitt claims that with Elon Musk departing, that Doge is now, all the cabinet members are Doge. Okay, play this clip.
I was looking into it, but I'm not aware of any phone calls the president may or may not have made to the mayor of that city.
And then on Doge, we know that Elon Musk is leaving. Do you have an updated leadership structure for who is leading the group? Is Russ Vought involved? And what is its new mission now, if any?
Well, the entire cabinet is involved. And I spoke to the president about it this morning, and the entire cabinet understands understands the need to cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. And each cabinet secretary at their respective agencies is committed to that. That's why they were working hand in hand with Elon Musk, and they'll continue to work with the respective DOGE employees who have onboarded as political appointees at all of these agencies. So surely the mission of DOGE will continue, and many DOGE employees are now political appointees and employees of our government. And to the best of my knowledge, all of them intend to stay and continue this important work.
Is there a DOGE leader taking the place of Mr. Musk?
Well, again, the DOGE leaders are each and every member of the president's cabinet and the president himself, who is wholeheartedly committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from our government.